Hello everyone, welcome to Compiler Design lecture series. In today's lecture, we are going to learn about how to check given grammar is LL1 or not. So what we will learn today, what is LL1, why LL1 is used, when grammar is called as LL1, when grammar is not called as LL1, and lastly we'll see one example to check whether given grammar is LL1 or not. What is the full form of this LL1? First L stands for left to right input scanning. So whatever the input string is given, we have to scan it from left to right direction. Then second L is used for leftmost derivation. Now this LL1, LR0, LR1, all these are parsers. Parsers means we use derivation tree or parse tree to show the parsing. Okay, we have to draw the tree. When we draw the tree, we draw it from the leftmost side. So leftmost derivation, and the 1 is used as a look ahead symbol. For now, just remember first L stands for left to right input scanning to go from left to right direction. Second L, when you draw the tree, derivation tree should be drawn from leftmost, starting from the leftmost side. And 1 stands for look ahead symbol. So now LL1 is called as top down parser because we go from top to down in the tree. It is called as without backtracking parser, meaning you don't do backtracking. It is also called as non-recursive descent parser. It is called as predictive parser, and it might use stack if required for storing the data. And for finding out the given grammar is LL1 or not, we have to find the first and follow. In the previous videos, I have already shown how to find the first and follow. So now why LL1 is used? To parse the string derived from grammar from top to down. That's why it is called as top down parser. For example, like this the grammar will be given. This is the grammar. So in this grammar, there are three productions. 1, 2 and 3. So now I have to derive the string AB from the above grammar. So for this I have to draw top down parsing tree like this. So now this S is start symbol. So S will always come first. Then from S we are getting what? AB. Okay, S production contains what? On the right hand side AB. So S will go to A and S will go to B. So AB. So now from A we can go to the small a. Okay, so A production is giving us A, the small a. Similarly B production is giving us the small b. So we got the string AB at the end. So this is the string AB, and how we have parsed it from top to down. Now this is called as what? Parse tree for the string AB. In small case letter, whatever is given becomes your string. Like this A, B, C, D, E. So all the terminals when they are combined together, they are called as string. Okay. Now A, B, C, D is one string. AB is one string. Then CD is another string. Then EF is another string. So whatever coming terminals in the small case letter, they are all considered as a strings. Now this is called as top down parse tree. Why? Because I am starting from the first production non-terminal and I'm coming down to terminals, top to down. Okay, I'm starting from the variables and I'm coming to the terminals. So that's why it is called as top down parser, meaning from top to down you are coming. Okay, at the down last you will see the string. So that's why LL1 is called as top down parser. Now we'll see when grammar is not called as LL1. Without solving, you can easily tell any grammar is given, you can tell whether it is LL1 or not. You don't even have to solve it. So we'll see that if the grammar is left recursive. Now what is the meaning of left recursive? If the grammar is given in this style, it is a left recursive. How many productions are there in this grammar? There are 3 productions. 1, 2 and 3. First production is S tends to SA, second production is A tends to A, and third production is B tends to B. Okay, so first production is S production, second is A production, and third is B production. So there are 3 production in our grammar. Now, if you see the production number 1, there is a left recursion. Now, what is left recursion? Meaning whatever symbol is there on the left hand side of your production, if the same symbol is coming at the first place on the right hand side also, then we call it as a left recursive production and your grammar becomes left recursive. Even if the one production is left recursive, entire grammar is called as left recursive and you can easily call it as not LL1 grammar. Similarly, if like this, if it is there AA, then now in this case it is a left recursive. Why? Because on the left hand side this A is there variable, and on the right hand side also at the first place this A is only there. So here production number 2 and 3 are not left recursive, but production number 1 is left recursive. Hence your grammar becomes left recursive and it is not LL1 grammar. Next is, if the grammar is having left factoring in it, then you can say it is not a LL1 grammar. So how to check whether left factoring is there in your grammar or not? This is the example. What is the meaning of left factoring? Now how many productions are there in this grammar? There are 3 productions. 1, 2 and 3. All are productions of A only. So A tends to A, B. Then again A tends to A, B, C. And then again A tends to A, C. You can write it like this also. This and this both are same. So, but what is happening in this? Now all these productions are of A only. Initial symbols of each production is same. So in this case, we call it as it is having a left factoring. Why it is called as a left factoring? Because while doing the parsing, parser won't know which production to select because all are having the same symbol on the right hand side. When A is taken for drawing the parse tree or for parsing, A won't know which production to consider because all 3 productions are having what? A only at the first symbol. When you have the same symbol on the right hand side, A won't come to know which one to select. Production number 1 to select, 2 to select or 3 to select. So this type of grammars are called as left factoring grammar. So they are having the left factoring. And this type of grammar cannot be a LL1. Now next is when we call grammar is not called as LL1. Third case is if the grammar is ambiguous. Now what is ambiguous? This is the grammar given and we have to get the input string A from this given grammar. If you can draw more than one parse tree, okay, that is the leftmost derivation. Parse tree means what? You can draw in 2 ways. There is a leftmost derivation and there is a rightmost derivation. For every string like A, you will have both the derivation compulsorily, leftmost also and rightmost also. Okay, so every string you can draw leftmost and rightmost. That is not ambiguous. But if you draw 2 leftmost derivation for the same string, then it is called as ambiguous. If you can draw two rightmost derivation trees, then it is called as ambiguous grammar. So now this A string is derived from this grammar. Okay, you can derive this from this grammar. Now we have to check whether it is ambiguous or not. So I'll draw the parse tree. So for drawing the parse tree, I have to start from the start symbol, that is S. So I started with the S. Now from S, I can use either this production number 2 or production number 3. So there are 3 productions of S. 1, 2 and 3. So now I am taking production number 1. So I have taken A and S. Okay, so I am going from left to right. Okay, so AS I have taken, but A is a terminal. So I cannot derive it further. It is a terminal and I want a string A. And first only I have got A. So now from the left I went. Okay, on the left there is A only is there. Small a. So I cannot derive it further. So I went on right hand side. Right hand side there is a S. Okay, so now this is a LHS and this is a RHS. Left to right scanning is always done. Okay, in the LL1 always left to right is done scanning. So now from this S I can again use 1, 2 or 3 any production, but I need to get this A string. So I am using the production number 2 now. So production number 2 is SA. So from S I got, from this S I got S and A. So now I want only A as a string. So this is the one A I got and I got one more A over here. So I got my 2 A's and the string which I need to get is only 2 A's only. So I don't need one more A, so I can stop. So this S is having one more production number 3 epsilon. Epsilon means nothing, empty. So now S is producing epsilon in this case. Because if you further extend S, you'll get more A's. And we don't want more A's because input string given is only double A's. So I got double A's. So now this is one derivation and it is called as leftmost derivation and top to down. Because we have come from top, that is starting from the start symbol S, and we derive the string A. So string is there at the bottom. So it is top to down passing. So this is one leftmost derivation. So one leftmost derivation of the grammar we got, and we have scanned from left to right. So we started from the left. We cannot produce further. That's why A is kept as it is. Then we went on the right hand side. Again when we came over here, we expanded the left first and then we went to right side. So left to right scanning is done. So it is a leftmost derivation. Now this is second tree which is also giving A as a answer, that we are getting the input string A from this tree also. So how we are getting, we'll see. So first is always starting symbol when you do top down parsing. So I've started with the starting symbol S. Then S is producing 1 2 3 productions. So for I have taken now second production. Instead of first, I have taken now second production, SA. Okay. So SA. So I am again starting from the left hand side. I'm scanning from the left to right. So S, can I expand further? S. So from S, I'm going to AS now. I'm using first production. You can use second production also again, but I'm using the first production. Instead of AS, you can use SC. So AS, you can see the first production. Okay. So now we got the two A's. One A is over here, one A is over here. So two A's are already received. So input string given is A only. We need to get two A's only and we got it. So now we don't need more A's. So this, from this S you can go to epsilon. Epsilon means nothing, empty. So third production is S goes to epsilon. So we are going to epsilon. So this is another parse tree and it is also a leftmost derivation because we have scanned from left to right only. So now we got two leftmost derivation for the same string, that is A string. And the same grammar is producing two derivation trees, leftmost derivations trees. So this grammar is 100% ambiguous. So this type of grammars cannot be LL1. Now if the grammar is left recursive, having left factoring, ambiguous, it is not LL1. We know now. I've told you why, when it is called as left recursive, when it is called as having left factoring, and when it is called as ambiguous. Now even if these three are not present, even if it is not left recursive, if your grammar is not left recursive, if your grammar is not having left factoring, or your grammar is not ambiguous, still it might not be LL1. There is a possibility, even after not having all these three things, you can still say that grammar is not LL1. Okay. Now what is the fourth reason? You have to draw the parsing table. Without drawing the parsing table, you won't come to know whether it is LL1 or not. And when you draw the parsing table, if like this, in one only cell, if you are getting two productions, I'll tell you how we put the productions in the table shortly. But if you get like this, no, one more than one production in the same cell, then you call it as not LL1 grammar. It is not a LL1. You should have only one production in one cell like this. You need to have only one production like this in one cell. If two productions are coming in the same cell, then you should know that it is not a LL1. So if one entry in the parsing table contains multiple productions like this, now here inside this A cell, there are two productions. S tends to S goes to L and S goes to A. So when like this type of more than one production is coming inside one cell only, you call it as what? It is not a LL1 grammar. So now last we'll check, given a grammar, it is LL1 or not. So now this is called as LL1 parsing table. Grammar will be given in the examination. Now this grammar is having 5 productions, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. There are 2 productions of S and 2 productions of L dash. S goes to this L and S goes to A. These are the 2 productions of S. L is having only one production, that is L goes to SL dash, and L dash is having 2 production. L dash goes to epsilon and L dash goes to comma SL dash. So total productions in the grammars are 5. Now what I have to do? I have to draw the parsing table. Now in this LL1 parsing table, columns will be terminals. All the columns headings will be terminals and all the rows headings will be variables. I've already told in the previous videos what are variables and what are terminals. Whatever is coming on the left hand side, they are your variables in capital letter. Now you can see in my productions of the grammar, S is coming on the left hand side, L is coming on the left hand side and L dash is coming on the left hand side of productions. Total 5 productions are there. So variables I have to write it as a row. Okay, on first row is having first variable S, second row is having second variable L, and third row is having third variable, that is L dash. Only 3 variables are there in my grammar, you can check. Now rows will be terminals, all the terminals. So how many terminals are there other than the capital letter? Anything is there that is called as terminal. So you can see this opening braces, that is a terminal. Closing braces also a terminal. Small a is another terminal. Then you can see comma. Comma is also a terminal. So terminals will always come on the right hand side of the productions. They will never be there on the left hand side. So on the right hand side, all these terminals are there. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis, small a, comma, and dollar indicates the end of the string. So you have to always put the dollar. Epsilon will never come because epsilon is not a terminal and it is not a variable also. It is a special symbol. So epsilon won't come on the row part also and epsilon won't come on the column part also because it is not a variable and it is not a terminal. It is a special symbol. So it won't come in your parsing table anywhere. Okay, and dollar will be considered as a terminal in the parsing table. Dollar will always come. Any grammar you take, dollar will always come in the parsing table on the terminal side, that is on the column side. So now this is our table, parsing table. You have to draw accordingly. Check first how many variables are there. Okay, so variable you write it on the row as a rows. Terminals you write it as a column. So now I have to solve this. So next step is to find the first of every variable present in the grammar. So we have three variable s, l, l dash on the left hand side of each production. So we have to find the first of s, we have to find the first of l, and we have to find the first of l dash. So first we'll find the first of s because it is the first production in the grammar and it is a start symbol. So first of s is, check on the right hand side of that s production and check for the first terminal coming on the right hand side. That will be the first of s. So on the right hand side of production number 1, you can see this opening parenthesis. So that becomes the first of s from the production number 1. So first production we are getting first of s as opening parenthesis. So in the table, wherever the opening parenthesis is there, in that cell, check for the s row because we are finding the first of s, and first of s we got what? Opening parenthesis. From which production? Production number 1. So write production number 1 over here because it is a production of s and we got the first from that production as this opening parenthesis. So in the opening parenthesis cell only that first production will come of s. Similarly, we need to find the first of s from second production. From the second production, we know that only a is there. No left, no right, only a is present in the second production and a is terminal, we all know. Other than capital letter anything, it is called as terminal. So the small a is a terminal. So first of s is this small a also, we can consider it as a first of s. So now we got a as a first of s from production number 2. So where we are going to write production number 2? Over here. It is a production of s. So we have to write in the s row only because both s goes to l and s goes to a, both are productions of s. So we cannot write it in other rows like l and l dash rows. We have to write it in s only. Okay, and we got the first, the second production first is a. So in the a cell only s goes to a will come. Now same thing we have to do for l and l dash. So now l has only one production, production number 3. We have to find the first of l now. So what is first of l? Check the production of l, that is production number 3. Check it on the right hand side of that production. What is there at the first place? S is there and that s is capital. So it is a variable and we want terminal. First of any variable cannot be another variable. So in this case we have to find the first of this capital S because it is coming on the right hand side at the first place in L production. So what is first of S? We already got this opening parenthesis and A. So now this production number 3 will come in which cells? This opening parenthesis cell and A cell because those are the first of L. So now just check the L row because we got the first of L, so we have to consider now only L row. Now L row, this L production will come at 2 places, that is this opening parenthesis and in A. Same production number 3 only will come because L is having only one production. Okay, and that production will come at 2 places, that is opening parenthesis and A. Why? Because first of L is opening parenthesis and A. So now we have to do the same thing for L dash also, find first of L dash. So now L dash is having 2 productions, production number 4 and production number 5. In production number 4, only epsilon is there. So epsilon can be the first. It can be the answer of first of L dash. So from the production number 4, there is a epsilon. Okay, but there is no epsilon in the table. So in this case, you have to find the follow of L dash. Okay, if there is no first possible, because L dash in production number 4, it is going to epsilon, and epsilon is not there in our passing table. So you cannot put this fourth production anywhere. So in this case, you have to find the follow of L dash. Now what is follow of L dash? Just check after L dash anything is coming, nothing is coming after L dash. So follow of L dash will be follow of its parent. Now who is the parent of L dash? L dash is coming from whom? L. You can see L is producing S L dash. SL dash. First time it is coming in L production. Then it is coming in production number 5. So S is not producing L dash. S is not a parent of L dash. But L is a parent of L dash. Because from this L production, first time we are getting L dash. So parent of L dash is L. So find the follow of L. Now who is the follow of L? Follow of L is this closing curly braces. Because after L, follow means after L who is following L. This closing curly braces. No other place after L anything is there. No other place L is there. And nobody is following L. Only this closing curly braces is following L. So that becomes the answer. Okay, so we didn't get the first. So follow of L we have to find. And that we got it as this closing curly braces. So production number 4 will come in this part. Now we have to check only L dash because we are checking L dash production. So follow of L we got as closing parenthesis. So in that closing parenthesis production number 4 will come. Only production number 4 will come. Now production number 5, just check if we are getting first of L dash from production number 5. Yes, because at the first place comma is there. There is no variable or capital letter present at the first place. Comma present. After comma, S and L dash variables are there. But before that comma is there. So comma becomes the first terminal which is present on the right hand side. So first of L dash from the production number 5 is this comma. So write comma. So now production number 5 of L dash will come only in the comma cell. So this is the production number 5. So now just check whether all the productions are covered. Your passing table should cover all the productions compulsorily. So production number 1 is there over here. Production number 2 is there over here. Production number 3 is there over here, and here also production number 4 and production number 5. All the productions are coming in the passing table. That means we have covered all the productions of the given grammar. Now to check whether it is LL1 or not, check every cell and check if any cell is having 2 productions inside it. If any cell is having 2 productions inside it, then it is not a LL1. But in our case, in this example, only one production is there in each cell. So hence, we can conclude that given grammar is LL1. So this way, any grammar is given, just find the first and follow and draw the passing table, and you can tell whether it is LL1 or not by checking the entries. So this was all about how to check given grammar is LL1 or not. Thank you.